excerpts, categories, tags, and featured images. So these are some post-specific guidelines. All of your campus's polished practices and stories have been placed into your WordPress portfolios as posts so that they can be organized in a dynamic way. As such, there are a couple of extra components that need paying attention to when revising them. Excerpts. We've begun to asking you to provide us with one-sentence excerpts for each practice so that the story can get across the most important information about each. You can add these excerpts to your practice or story by copying and pasting them into the excerpt dialog below the main content area in the editing mode and hitting update. Now, if you do not see an excerpt area in your workspace, then you might have to go to the top of the screen where you see screen options and then make sure that it's checked off. So once the check is in there, you will see it here below the main editing area. Next thing I want to talk about are categories. So each post in your portfolio has been categorized at a base level by the type of content, whether it's a practice or story, and the sector that it closely corresponds to. Now, if you would like to add a new category, you can by adding a new category. And once you add that new category, it will automatically categorize that practice as such. To uncategorize, you will simply click off, and the two checked off categories, or however many, will be the categories that stay attached to the practice. While we don't want to focus too much on creating alternative categories just yet, it is definitely something to keep in mind for the future to connect related content to each other. Now, the next thing to notice are the tags that are here as well. Tagging is an alternative method for categorizing practices by another set of parameters. While categories have been used to specify the artifact's type and which part of our Catalyst framework it most closely corresponds to, tags are going to be used to specify what types of elements the practice or story contains within it in terms of attachments and multimedia. So thereby users looking for specific content like that can find it easily. So to add tags, you're going to simply type the tag you'd like to associate with the practice into the tags area and hit enter or add. That will show you the tag here underneath the area that you type. If you want to remove a tag, you're going to click on the X and that will delete the tag. Also, if you would like to add a bunch of tags at the same time, that's fine as long as you separate them by commas. Spaces do not work as a separator here. So I just added rubric and student work, and when I click add, rubric and student work are their own tags. So after tags, you'll notice that there's this little area called featured image. And featured images are used in previews for posts and in sliders that feature content. How these images are featured or display is really dependent on the theme that you select. So we're requiring you to add these images now and to start thinking about them, but you might want to change them when you do move to a new theme later on. Now to add your featured image, you're going to click on Set Featured Image, and it will search your media library so you can already add any sort of feature image that you already have in here that is the correct kind of dimension or the most appropriate one. Or you can go to Upload Files and you can upload a new one. Now, once the image you want is uploaded and or you've selected the image that you want, I'm going to go back here because this is my scaling up. You can click on the Set Featured Image button, and now that featured image will appear in this box so that you always know what the image looks like. That's how you know. So that's featured images. That's where you're going to be adding them. They do not, or they could go into the content of your practice if you would like, but most of the time they're going to be here in the featured image box. This is how you add tags or categories. And again, the excerpt is located underneath the main editing area. Thanks for listening.